Ungheni. Ungheni, the city and a municipality in Moldova, the center of Ungheni district. It is located on the Prut River in 107 km from Chisinau, 85 km from Balti and in 45 km from Yas. In Ungheni there is a customs on border with Romania. The railway station Ungheni is boundary between the railroads of Moldova and Romania. The area -16.4 km. Height above sea level -62 m. The first mention Ungheni occurs in Stefan III Veliki's decree dated on August 20, 1462. Ungheni became the city and the regional center in 1940. After 1945 in the city considerable increase in population begins, the industry, production of art ceramics, carpets, etc. develops easy, food, meat canning, winemaking. The biochemical plant is under construction. On June 29, 1972 the city of Ungheni is referred to category of cities of Republican subordination of the Moldavian Ser. In 1991 the status was lost. In 1991 the population Ungheni made 43,000 inhabitants. In 1999-2002 Ungheni were the administrative center of the county of the same name and had the status of a municipality. In 2014 the offer on return Ungheni of the status of a municipality is approved. The history Ungheni is inseparably linked with the history of the earth on which he is. The geographic location of the city and all Bessarabia predetermined difficult development of the settlements which are at the intersection of interests of various empires. Invasion of one was replaced by invasion another. All this sharply changed the speed and the direction in development of the country in general and the cities in particular, though at other moments, and served as the strongest push of economic and cultural development. Nobody ever will be able precisely to define from where there was a name of this settlement which history contains more than 600 years. Two options are most popular. The first is the name and jewel corner. This original name of the city is connected with geographic location. In this place the Prut River forms a corner in the course, from where presumably there was also a name. The second option is the whole legend. At the Boyar Vasil Lupiu living in the village Incest, Turks stole the daughter. As a result of the pursuit organized with the father of the girl, Turks were overtaken at a crossing through the Prut River and got out the girl of short captivity. In gratitude and in honor of it the Boyar decided to construct a tavern in the place. At construction windowed the earth under the base, found in a large number of a hoof of sheep who then still called Ungheni room Ungheni. And the tavern began to be called Hanal and Uzjailer, from which, on a legend and the name to this settlement came. Further, as a result of transformation from 1587 to 1643, Ungheni is transformed to Ungheni. Culture and education. Now in the city 5 lyceums, 2 elementary schools, 5 kindergartens, medical college, boundary and agrarian college, 2 sports, music and art school work. In total in educational institutions Ungheni 12,000 children study. In the city 3 polyclinics, hospital on 480 places function. Also the Palace of Culture, the Museum of History and Ethnography, 5 libraries, recreation center works. Russian Orthodox Church. The Alexander Nevsky Church, built in memory of the Russian-Turkish War of 1877-1878. Street. Nikolai's Church. The temple in honor of the Gerbevetsky icon of the Mother of God, the patroness of Moldova. Beginning of construction 2012. The new temple will become diocesan cathedral of the Ungheni diocese. Sites. Железнодорожный Bridge through the Prut, reconstructed in 1876 by the famous French engineer Gustave Eiffel. Memorial fallen in the Great Patriotic War for Unghens' release from Nazi occupation. Obelisk in honor of the soldiers of the 252nd Division participating in release Ungheni in 1944. Mosaic from colored glass on Lyceum of A.S. Pushkin. Chronology of the major events. On August 20, 1462, the original name of the settlement of Anjul is for the first time mentioned in the diploma signed by Stefan the Great. We learn from the diploma that Anjul is between 2 Prut rivers and Jizia. Also follows from this document that the village exists more than 100 years. On March 13, 1587, the last mention of the village under the ancient name Anjul in the diploma to Piat Shipul. The document indicates expansion of the village and the beginning of settling of the left river bank Prut. Within century the name of the village undergoes change and becomes Ungheni. 1643, the modern name Ungheni is for the first time mentioned in the book Vasulupiu. 1801, the mention from Elena Karasha at judicial proceedings. In the document we read, my possession, namely Ungheni, begin on this side of the Prut, the right coast, and stretch through water of the Prut, on the Dalia River to possession ocean. This diploma confirms process of resettlement of people on the right and left coast. 1812, as a result of territorial division to Russia, the earth between the Prut and Dniester, Bessarabia departs. Ungheni are divided into 2 parts. On this fact there are instructions in documents 1817 and 1848 of 1870, there is a territorial and administrative reform. As a result, the small village becomes the volist center and receives 16 nearby villages in the submission. 1875, the end of construction of the railroad Kishinev-Ungheni. Customs point, which for a short time becomes one of the most important on the site of southeast border, opens. The strengthened development of the village begins with this period. Numerous handicraft workshops open. All this becomes a basis of transformation of the village into the city. In 1875, 227 inhabitants lived in Ungheni. 1877, in Ungheni the military garrison is located. Military begin to play a noticeable role in life of civilians. 1897, after down the river the Prut navigation was open, in Ungheni and construction of river port. Existence of railway and river messages gave an impetus to revival of commercial communications and increase in population. 1897 lived 1827 inhabitants, from whom in Ungheni Aboriginals -520, Ukrainians -75, Russians -58, Roma -17, Poles -17, Armenians -4, Jews -1136. 1904, the number of inhabitants reaches 28 people. 1913, construction of the railroad Ungheni Balti, at which 6,900 workers worked. December 1917, in the city the Soviet power was established.
January 1918, there was an armed change of the power, as a result of which Bessarabia was annexed to Romania.
1932, in Ungheni 3 national banks, 2 plants. Brick and woodworking. Several mills, manufactories, a large number of bakeries worked.
All this indicates that Ungheni, in essence, long ago was the city in which the capital begins to accumulate.
The number of inhabitants reached 40 to 50 people. June 1940, in Ungheni the Soviet power was established. Attached 8 neighboring villages to Ungheni. Delesht, Kiresht, Beresht, Minzateshtivek, Belton, Godesht, and lands with a total area of 600 hectares adjoining them. In August of Ungheni finds the status of the city and the regional center. On June 22, 1941, August 1944, the period of occupation of the city by fascist aggressors. These years the youth group of underground workers led by 5N Gavrish actively acted in the city. More than 3,000 Soviet soldiers were killed in battles for release Ungheni. In memory of heroes liberators in the city on Massachusetts graves, obelisks are established. 1963-1964, the city loses the status of the regional center and is a part of Faleshki district. On July 29, 1972, the city was again given the status of the regional center. Ungheni became the city of Republican subordination. By this year the modern plants are created. Biochemical, concrete goods, canning, winery, bakery, dairy products. The carpet plant became one of the largest enterprises of the city and the USSR. The Republic's first plant of art ceramics was in the late 50s open. 1990, gross production in local economy increased in comparison with 1972 by 14 times. About 90% of industrial and intellectual potential of the area are concentrated in Ungheni. 1991, the collapse of the USSR. Formation of the Republic of Moldova and declaration of her independence. Cruel economic crisis. Most the enterprises stop the activity. Development of private business begins. 1994, Ungheni loses the status of the city of Republican subordination. 1998, as a result of territorial and administrative reform of Ungheni received the status of a municipality and become the district center.
The educated county of Ungheni includes Unghensky, Kolarashki and Isperensky districts.
2002, Ungheni become the regional center again and lose the status of a municipality.
2014, the Parliament of the Republic of Moldova in the first reading approved the offer on return to the city of Ungheni of the status of a municipality.
Natives. IA 50. Payment. Niyitsek Domnik. On June 27, 1920, Ungheni, Bessarabia. On April 21, 1988, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, California.
The American continuity writer working with the director Billy Wilder, the scriptwriter of the movie Some Like It Hot.
1959. Badalika, Vyacheslav Georgievich. Sword. On June 18, 1977, Ungheni, Moldova. The Russian composer, the singer, the actor, the producer, the ex-participating of the Prime Minister group representing in 2002 Russia at the International Festival, Eurovision, the author of songs for the Russian and European performers. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.